There's this inherent human curiosity, isn't there? When something truly tragic happens, we want to know what exactly happened. How did it all unfold?
Absolutely. It's a natural reaction.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into that. We've got a stack of news sources about a really heartbreaking incident in Burlingame, California just recently.
Right.
And our mission, really, is to piece together the sequence of events, look at the immediate aftermath, and then maybe zoom out a bit, see what bigger questions this raises about, our shared public spaces.
Makes sense. A tough story, but important to understand.
Okay, so let's lay out the basic facts first.
Yeah.
The reports came out Saturday, August 9th, 2025. But the incident itself, that happened Friday evening.
Okay, Friday.
Yeah, the location was right in front of the Truffle Poke Bar. That's at 1212 Donnelly Avenue, downtown Burlingame.
Got it. Downtown.
And the time was around 6:25 in the evening. The outcome,
Yeah.
well, it's just devastating. A vehicle hit two young children on the sidewalk. Yeah. A 4-year-old boy, tragically, was pronounced dead right there at the scene. And a 6-year-old girl, she was taken to the hospital. Her injuries were described as non-life-threatening, thankfully, but still just awful.
Horrific. Absolutely horrific. A 4-year-old.
And of course, a key part of understanding this is the driver. What do the sources tell us about her?
Well, the sources say the driver was a 19-year-old young woman from San Mateo.
Okay.
And an important detail. She stayed at the scene, she didn't flee, and apparently she's cooperating fully with the investigators.
That is important.
Yeah. And the police reports also indicate pretty clearly that they don't believe drugs or alcohol were involved here. So, those initial facts paint a clear, if just deeply tragic, picture.
Right. So those are the initial, just gut-wrenching facts. But as we look deeper into the sources, it really felt like this wasn't straightforward, was it?
No, not at all.
What did the reports reveal about the actual sequence? Because it sounds like there's a really surprising complexity here.
You're absolutely right. It's much more complex. The reports describe this sort of chain reaction. It wasn't just a car losing control on its own.
Okay.
This is where it gets really crucial. According to our sources, as the driver was pulling out of parking lot D onto Donnelly Avenue, her car was first hit by an e-bike.
Wait, an e-bike hit the car?
Uh-huh.
Before everything else?
Exactly. That's what the reports indicate. This initial collision, the impact from the e-bike, apparently caused the car to suddenly accelerate.
Accelerate, not stop.
Accelerate across Donnelly Avenue, then up onto the sidewalk, which is where it struck the children.
Oh, my goodness.
And it didn't stop there. It kept going and crashed into the restaurant itself, the Truffle Poke Bar. They mentioned the vehicle was actually still partially inside the building as late as 10 p.m. Friday night. Shows the force involved.
Wow, that adds such a critical and frankly shocking dimension. So it wasn't just, a lapse of attention behind the wheel, but this cascade, starting with that smaller collision.
Precisely, a catastrophic sequence triggered by that initial event.
So where does the investigation stand now? And how is the community reacting? I can only imagine.
Well, it's definitely an active investigation. The Burlingame police are leading it, but they've brought in the North County Major Accident Investigation Team for assistance. It's being taken very seriously.
As it should be.
And the impact on the community. It's profound. There's a quote from Lieutenant David Perna from Burlingame PD. He said, "Not in many years has something this tragic happened in our downtown area."
Yeah, you can feel the weight in that statement.
Definitely underscores how deeply this has hit the local area.
And it seems like the mention of the e-bike specifically kind of resonated with residents. Sparked some immediate conversation.
Absolutely. It seems like it touched on existing concerns. One resident, Jordana Paul, was quoted observing something like, "I don't know the involvement of the e-bike, but they were going down the avenue like crazy last night."
Huh. So that suggests maybe some underlying tension or observations about e-bikes in the area already?
It does. That one comment kind of highlights these potential friction points, how newer ways of getting around, like e-bikes, are fitting into these shared spaces alongside cars and pedestrians.
Right. It's a really poignant observation in light of what happened. It makes you think, this specific incident, as unique and terrible as it is, maybe connects to bigger issues.
I think that's exactly right. If you zoom out just a little,
Yeah.
this tragedy, horrible on its own, isn't actually an isolated event for Burlingame in terms of pedestrian safety. Our sources point out this was the city's third pedestrian death just this year.
Third. Wow.
Yeah, 3 deaths. And that statistic really lends weight to a strong statement from a pedestrian advocate named Mike Swire. He basically said, The streets of San Mateo County are not safe. People need to walk and shop without fear of taking their lives into their hands.
That's a powerful statement and deeply concerning.
It is, and it raises that really critical question for all of us, doesn't it? How do we design and manage our cities, our downtowns, our streets to prevent these kinds of tragedies? Especially now, with all of these different ways people are moving around, bikes, e-bikes, scooters, cars, pedestrians, all sharing the same space.
It really forces you to think differently. So, pulling all this together from the sources, the core insight isn't just the awful sequence of events in Burlingame. It's also how a seemingly almost minor interaction, an e-bike collision, could spiral into such utter catastrophe.
Exactly. It exposes a kind of fragility in our shared spaces.
Yeah, a fragility we might not normally think about.
Yeah?
And it highlights this urgent need to rethink urban safety, maybe beyond just traffic lights and speed limits.
A more
But-
holistic view.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now as you walk or drive or bike through your own town? This deep dive, looking at all these different reports, it doesn't just give us the facts of one terrible moment.
Right. It shows more.
It shows how our public spaces are changing, evolving, and how critical it is that we keep talking about safety, pedestrian safety, shared transit safety. So maybe the thought to leave you with is this: what specific changes or measures do you see, or maybe what do you wish you saw in your own community to make sidewalks and streets genuinely safer for absolutely everyone?